So yeah, next speaker is Erin Vanderberg from Cosmos Ecosystem. Erin is currently a director of ecosystem growth at Atom Accelerator DAO, which is one of the core entities in the Cosmos ecosystem. Hello, Erin. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning, good evening. It's evening there. I know it's very early here in San Francisco. No, not even the setup yet, but it's great to join you, and thank you so much, Sergey, for having me. And let me share a little bit about me and a little bit about the Cosmos ecosystem.
Yeah, sure.
So, and I had a presentation, but I'm having some technical difficulties, so you'll just have to sit and listen to my lovely voice. So a little bit about me. I started my career in traditional finance, working as an analyst and doing institutional sales and trading in securitized products, collateralized loan obligations, asset-backed securities. I moved into cybersecurity for a few years, where I focused on identity and access management as well as multi-factor authentication. And I've been in blockchain for about 5 years now, and I've worked at the core of the Cosmos ecosystem for the last 2.5 years. I worked with one of the founders, Jay Kwan, worked directly under him, and it was a very inspiring experience. Now I currently am at the Atom Accelerator DAO. I'm also an advisor to several companies such as HPF Financial, Starta, Mappa, and Florigrid. In my current role at the Atom Accelerator DAO, I'm working on helping to grow the Cosmos ecosystem. We are a decentralized ecosystem, unlike many other layer ones, layer twos in the blockchain world. We aim to be decentralized as possible, and we aim to do this as so our growth engine. We just created it a year ago in its new form, and it's working as in a DAO format. And we're basically a community-oriented fund that is aimed to support public goods creation in the Cosmos ecosystem. We support only open source projects and ecosystem initiatives that can assist bringing success to Cosmos, as well as integrating new communities, new other blockchains into the Cosmos ecosystem. We were formed from an on-chain proposal 95, and we are truly funded by the community and for the community. I know that everyone here is pretty familiar with blockchain, and I think that I'm probably not alone in many of you will agree with me that blockchain and distributed ledger technology will revolutionize many industries, as well as change governance and the way we use governance in not only financial systems but also nation states. And one of the industries that I'm most familiar with, and that I think is the most ripe for disruption, is finance. I've personally worked in finance for years, and it's the systems in place are so archaic that it's almost ridiculous. It still takes T+2 to settle any transaction, and that's the shortest. So thinking of our digital world, having several days to settle a financial transaction is rather ridiculous. And in one study, I think so this is it's bad from a cost perspective, from a risk management perspective. once we enable blockchain or we use blockchain technologies, we can remove intermediaries from the domain of financial services. We no longer need these large institutions, and we can truly have a peer-to-peer financial system. We can lower, there's one study by HSBC that showed that we could lower transaction costs by 90% by using blockchain. And that's obviously a significant reduction. It can not only make businesses more profitable and financial institutions more profitable, but that cost can be passed down to the individual user and the individual consumer. We need increased transparency and security in these systems. As we all know, I was just starting on the trading desk during the credit crisis in 2007 and 2008. We need to have more transparency in the financial system, as well as better risk management, so we don't end up in a similar situation. One of the biggest issues I've seen with current financial system is cross-border payments and remittances. I was speaking to someone at Bitcoin 2021, an Uber driver, that basically asked me, what is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? And I spoke to him for a few minutes, and basically he said that he was a Cuban immigrant working 5 jobs to send as much money at home to support as many people as he could, 6, 8, however many he could, to literally feed his family. And he was being charged at the time 12% to send money 90 miles. That should be borderline criminal. So we can use blockchain. And I believe right now there's a MoneyGram is doing a new method of sending money using blockchain, and I believe they're offering it for no fee at all. And that is just, not only saves money, it's just a humanitarian and social impact good. Which brings me to my next point, which is democratization of finance. There are, I believe last I checked, it was 2 billion people in the world that are unbanked and that can't afford even just a bank account. And that should really be a right, human right, because it is almost impossible to do anything. It's impossible to save money, to do really anything without a bank account. So overall, basically blockchain will revolutionize the financial industry. One example is Swift. Swift is currently doing a blockchain project, proof of concept, to test for reconciliation of databases for cross-border payments. I think that they started this a few months ago, and it can provide a tamper-proof environment for secure transactions and provide a great example of the application of blockchain to financial industry. In Cosmos, we're working on developing. There's a few blockchain projects right now being done. We're in the beginning stages of working on development of a few applications from within the Cosmos ecosystem. So a bit more into Cosmos. As I'm sure everyone knows, the trilemma problem is the biggest issue with blockchain technology, and it's decentralization, security, and scalability are really the 3 core, 3 core parts of the blockchain. And most have had an issue with scalability and decentralization. So Cosmos is truly probably the most scalable scalable of any of the layer 1s, layer 2s out there. We aim to be the most scalable, usable, and interoperable. Basically, Cosmos is an ecosystem of interoperable and sovereign blockchains that's built on this core value of true decentralization. As you can see, that we have over 200 individual layer 1 blockchains, and we aim to be the internet of blockchains and to basically make it easy for anyone to build a blockchain for themselves. We do this using the Cosmos SDK kit and other tools. I believe that there are several ways you can launch a blockchain in under 7 minutes. Obviously, it'll be a very pared down, simplistic blockchain, but that alone is pretty incredible. Our ecosystem was founded by Jay Kwan and Ethan Buckman. Jay Kwan wrote the first proof of stake white paper, the same year as Vitalik did in 2015. And Cosmos was the first launched proof of stake blockchain. And we were proof of stake long before Ethereum changed in the merge not too long ago. So basically, we're Cosmos ecosystem is a decentralized and interoperable network of independent blockchains, and they're built using the Cosmos software development kit. So the Cosmos SDK is one of the core pieces of our ecosystem, and it's an entirely open source framework for building proof of stake blockchains, like the Cosmos Hub, which is our core blockchain in our ecosystem, as well as also proof of authority blockchains. And Cosmos SDK represents a platform for building multi-asset proof of stake blockchains that gives you the options of flexibility and security, and really the option of modularity. It's basically allows you to control your own chain, to have sovereignty of your security. So for for DeFi projects, security is key, and to be able to control your own validator set. Anyone can create a module for the Cosmos SDK and integrate it already built-in modules. And it's as simple as importing them into your blockchain application. The SDK has all the necessary pre-built modules to add functionality on top of the basic ABCI application that your Cosmos SDK application can communicate with the underlying Tendermint node. The key directories of the SDK are base app, client, server, examples, and store. The Cosmos SDK is written in Golang, which means that developers can only develop SDK models in Golang. However, in the future, the SDK is expected to be implemented in other programming languages as well. It's been used to build many application-specific blockchains, such as Cosmos Hub, Binance Chain, and Kava, as well as Osmosis. The Tendermint consensus algorithm is the core of the build in Cosmos. It's a Byzantine fault-tolerant consensus algorithm that provides fast and secure transactions. It is the consensus algorithm that forms the foundation of the Cosmos network. Tendermint is designed to address the limitations of existing consensus algorithms, such as proof of work and proof of stake, which are slow and inefficient. The Tendermint consensus algorithm is a communication between validators before a block is agreed upon and committed. Each round consists of 3 steps: proposal, pre-vote, and pre-commit. This consensus engine, called Tendermint Core, ensures that the same transactions are recorded on every machine in the same order. The application interface called the application blockchain interface, enables consistent proof of stake Byzantine fault tolerant consensus algorithm, meaning that it can tolerate up to 1 out of 3 faulty nodes. It's a kind of blockchain stack that's modular, and the modularity is really one of the core features in Cosmos, and the application layer is divorced from the consensus and networking layers. This means that developers can plug their own application layer into the stack, so it's really customizable. In the Cosmos ecosystem, validators play a truly crucial role. They're responsible for committing new blocks. Validators participate in the consensus protocol by voting and by broadcasting votes that contain cryptographic signatures signed by each validator's private keys. They're expected to be online at all times, and the set of validators is chosen by this specific chains. So it's your security of your chain is completely controlled by you, as opposed to building on other. If you were to build on a layer 1, you don't have that control. Basically, validators are nodes that participate in the consensus process. They're selected by their network, which is determined by the amount of the network's native token they hold. They turn proposing blocks of transactions and vote on them, essentially. Overall, they're responsible for this engine that is security of your chain. No, everything's kind of connected to the Cosmos Hub. Basically, the Cosmos Hub is the flagship blockchain of our ecosystem. It's obviously a proof of stake blockchain, and the native token of the hub is Atom, and it serves as a mediator between all of the chains in the network. It's open source point of contact for the blockchain, that if you want to join Cosmos ecosystem and interact and have blockchains interact with one each other, and its ability it facilitates transactions in the Cosmos ecosystem. One of the most revolutionary things about Cosmos is the IBC protocol, which is our answer to bridging and our answer to the problems with bridging and the problems because the IBC was built into the protocol from the beginning. It allows independent blockchains to communicate with each other in a way that's more secure than any bridges out there. It provides a common protocol for blockchains to communicate in a standardized and trustless way, and the trustless is the key part. It's composed of 2 layers, the transport layer and the application layer. The transport layer provides the infrastructure for establishing secure connections and data packets and data packet authentication between chains. The major difference of IBC compared to existing bridge solutions is that there's no third parties to trust, no multi-sig involved for transferring value or messages between blockchains. So basically, the concept of IBC is the concept of IBC native security means that if you trust chain A and chain B, then you also trust IBC token A on chain B and vice versa. As long as relayers are operated by any party and channels are open and authentication is successful between blockchains, then the messages can be passed along. IBC is a protocol. It basically, it's modeled after TCP/IP, and includes a number of similar steps. Initially, it's like a handshake between two separate blockchains. And this is basically, it's what enables us to, in the Cosmos ecosystem, to really start to become the internet of blockchains. Because if you don't have this secure version of a bridge, you really are not going to be truly interoperable and decentralized and interoperable with other blockchains. We are now, initially we were connected, IBC was only connecting blockchains that were built using the Cosmos SDK, but now we have expanded past our traditional borders to enable IBC on Polygon and as well as Polkadot, and we are working on several others. I believe Near is being worked on right now, and the next, as well as one of our newest builds coming in is DYDX, which is the largest DeFi, largest decentralized exchange. Just launched their newest version in Cosmos, built with the SDK, and that was only a few days ago. We're also working on several ways to communicate with Ethereum and to be interoperable with Ethereum right now as well. So the most recent, what we most recently came out with, and this is in the last, this year, basically, we came out with interchain security, which will allow us to even expand further and to help smaller chains, basically to help smaller chains launch and become more secure. It basically enables shared security in the Cosmos Hub between chains. It allows the validators of the Cosmos Hub to use stake on that chain. So basically staked Atom to secure other chains in the ecosystem. This also will accrue value to the Atom token, to our native token, and accrue value to the Cosmos Hub, which was really one of the missing pieces we had in our ecosystem. And the interchain security also lowers the barrier for launching blockchains. So if you have a new blockchain project, it makes it much easier. You don't have to get your own validator set. And it also brings in a high security guarantee by bringing in this core group of validators to secure multiple execution environments with this one single validator set, the trusted Cosmos Hub validator set. And then, so sorry. One other thing I want to mention is the way we are revolutionizing governance. Basically, Cosmos is revolutionizing governance by providing a decentralized and democratic process for making decisions. Cosmos blockchains are prepackaged with a governance system that allows this decentralized way of decision making, and this is at the protocol level. It's a robust governance mechanism. It incorporates a robust governance mechanism that will allow token holders to participate in the decision-making process. So it truly creates this community and participation by the community on all new proposals, and it really allows the community and the token holders to participate and have a say by voting in the future of any of the networks. So it's much of the documentation of the Cosmos Hub repository was funded by the community fund itself, and governance decisions happen in a number of places, moderated by diverse community members. It is truly decentralized. There are many different forums, Discord, Twitter, Reddit, and the Cosmos community is probably the strongest blockchain community and the most engaged blockchain community. We have permissionless proposals. Anyone can create a proposal, which means that anyone has the ability to change the network. This allows for, as long as they have the votes, it allows for a truly democratic and inclusive process for making decisions. It's also interoperable. One of the things that so this is, and the governance structure of the Cosmos is also working on many things with DAOs as well, decentralized organizations, and DAO governance. And we have a few projects right now, including DAO, that's building tooling for DAOs. And we are truly revolutionizing the decentralized organization space as well. And one other thing I wanted to note is, as we go to the future and continue to build this internet of blockchains, we're also working with Ethereum, and we have some recent updates connecting to the Ethereum community. Osmosis and Evmos have already successfully connected to Ethereum. And for example, Evmos is a layer 1 blockchain built on using the SDK, and it's the first IBC compatible EVM based chain. So it brings composability, interoperability, and fast finality to Ethereum. It's scalable and a high throughput proof of stake EVM blockchain. And so it provides one of the first versions of our fully compatible and interoperability with Ethereum. So this basically shows how we're connected now to the greater ecosystem of other layer 1s, with Polkadot, Polygon, Ethereum. And this is really how we're going to truly, find this vision and continue this vision of interoperable but sovereign blockchains. The one last point I'll make is we did have a major failure of one of the biggest Cosmos blockchain, which was Terra. And it was, there was some, I wouldn't say fraud, but there was some bad behavior in that blockchain, and basically the largest failure of a blockchain, I think, out there. However, through IBC and the way Cosmos is built, even though that blockchain had that, became no longer viable, all of the other blockchains in the Cosmos ecosystem are still standing. It did not affect any other. So it almost proves the sovereignty of the ecosystem and the sovereignty. IBC did continue to work, and there was no issues as far as the robustness of the ecosystem. And it as bad as it was, it proves the vision of this secure and sovereign ecosystem. And with that, that ends my time. Hopefully I didn't
No, it was interesting, and I'm super excited to learn, and I believe the audience probably also is excited to learn how many developments are happening in the Cosmos ecosystem. Because recently there was some article on CoinDesk, but yeah, it obviously proves that the information in this article maybe people who were writing it were not fully informed.
Yes, yeah. I think are you speaking the one that came out? There's one in August, I believe. That was. Are you talking about the one that came out in August?
Well, I don't remember the timing, but basically the idea they were pushing is there a place for Cosmos in the future?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, that actually is a great that is a great example of how our basically that was kind of based on one conversation, one panel at Nebular Summit kind of gave them this starting off point, because we are decentralized and we have many different stakeholders, and we're truly about sharing ideas. And this is where a centralized entity would just get out there and evangelize their ecosystem, versus ours is more open to critiques. And we don't have a PR machine that's controlling Cosmos and the narrative out there. And so this is one of the reasons that we have been slow to grow, is that we don't have this one controlled, growth, front end, PR, buying media. We're very against buying media placements and buying, these positive narratives that pretty much everyone else out there is doing. It's easy to do that. It's easy to put a lot of, to put money to buying positive stories. So, what you see from the Cosmos is authentic. And, there are some people who are going to be more critical, but that's almost the best part, is that this is authentic. This is not a paid for, like, polished version of itself. It's many different people with many different opinions, and it's truly democratic. It's a truly democratic ecosystem.
Well, thank you so much for this response. We have a question from community, but I believe this question has been, the answer to this question has been already provided. The initials of the person who asked this is K.S. So if you need further elaboration, I am happy to ask this question. While you are thinking, I will ask a couple more questions in reference to the Atom DAO. So first of all, what are the levels of participation? Are those levels, is it basically, who can participate? Is it a
as far as the Atom Accelerator DAO?
Yeah.
So we are right now, we are a board of community elected individuals, and we are in the newer stages. We're going into, actually, we're not even a year old. I believe started in January, and the first version was simply a grant program that we're now expanding, and we're putting an on-chain proposal actually to expand on November 12th. And we are looking for input from community members, and we aim to bring community together. But while holding decentralized, we still are looking for to bring the community together and to get input, yes, for this DAO. And that's something that we're building into it as we go.
Okay, so the second question, how to apply for the grants, and who can be the receivers of the grants? Are those only the projects who should build something on the ecosystem, or there could be some educational grants, some community development grants? How this is?
Yes, I will drop the link. I mean, you can Google Atom Accelerator DAO, or I can drop the link right now, and you can apply through the website. We will be starting our next round. I believe the next round will start in December of grants. Yes, and we will also be doing other educational initiatives and other initiatives through the Atom Accelerator DAO.
Understood. Okay. I'm talking basically, yeah. So we there will be a follow-up discussion after this conference on this topic. Yeah, the last question we have from community is actually, what is the difference between Polkadot and Cosmos?
Oh, we always get that. The difference is you don't have to pay to be connected to Cosmos and to build in Cosmos. Polkadot basically is they only have a certain number of slots, and Cosmos can have infinite chains.
Okay.
And it's permissionless.
Understood. Does it answer your question?
And I just want to say I can't connect to the chat for some reason, but if you Google Atom ATOM Accelerator DAO DAO, you'll find all of our information on there, and I'm sure Sergey can also probably share as well.
You can drop it in our private chat, and I will post it into the public.
Sure, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Okay, the next one moment. Well, okay.
I think something about use cases. Whatever you can think of can be a use case. You know, we have regenerative finance use cases dealing with carbon credits. We have DEXs, decentralized exchanges. We have smart contract, simple smart contract chains. But as whatever you could consider, whatever you could think is possible.
Understood. Yeah. Thank you so much, Erin. We are a little bit limited on time. I see the follow-up question about the existence of the new blockchains, and this might be a very long discussion. Touches the point whether there are Bitcoin maximalists who says that only Bitcoin should exist. There are Ethereum maximalists.
Yeah. Well, and the one thing I would say is the real reason to run your own blockchain versus build on another layer one is sovereignty and scalability. You're gonna have, so basically, for example, DYDX, big if you have a financial, like a decentralized exchange, that sovereignty is key. You want control over your security. And that is one of the big reasons you would want your own layer one blockchain.
Understood. Thank you so much, Erin. I think it provides the answer. Dear audience, please confirm that the answer is received, because we here intend to provide equal opportunity to everyone to ask all the questions you have, but we are slightly behind the schedule already.
Yeah. And I also need to run to a flight. So.
Okay, Erin, thank you so much for joining us. It was a great pleasure having you. It was a very insightful talk, and yeah, we look forward for you to join us in the following events and in the following days.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks.